Hi there, it's Friday today here, so I'm thinking what's better to cook than a very speedy after work curry. So this curry is a chicken biryani. So the key ingredient obviously is chicken, which I've already chopped just to prevent any cross-contamination. I always use a separate chopping board, always for meat. And the other main ingredient is rice, which, because this is a speedy biryani, we're going to use already cooked rice that we're going to pop in the microwave, but you can cook your own and use that too. I'm going to half it and make two actually. The other half is going to be made using cauliflower rice instead of rice, so that people who are following a low carbohydrate diet can see that this recipe is just as adaptable for them. Now what I've done is put some cauliflower into a little food processor and I'm just blitzing it. But you could grate this by hand on a cheese grater, or you can buy it ready-made. Okay, there's a couple of big lumps in there because mine is such a small process. Okay, so that is cauliflower rice. And that's going to go in at the same time as the normal rice and hopefully be just as delicious. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is get the pan going and get this chicken cooking. So some oil in the pan. Now this looks like a reasonable amount of oil, and it is because I've made my own curry paste and it's quite dry. So you can use a shop-bought balti paste, that would be perfect. And we just put that into the pan with the oil. Mine's quite strong. I'm going to go with one and a bit decent tablespoonfuls. And with that we're going to cook the chicken. So chicken going in with oil and curry paste. Let that start to cook. While that's cooking, we're going to chop the onions. Just going to move it back so you can see what I'm doing with the onions. Okay, so one red onion going into this recipe. Take the skin off. Obviously it doesn't have to be a red onion. And then we want to chop this quite finely, or you could cut it into strips, entirely up to you. I might do both actually. So to dice it finely, we've cut all the way down without reaching the end, and then we go back in the other direction. Gives us some very small bits of onion, or we could simply slice so we have these rainbow shapes, and that just gives us a bit more texture to the curry. Okay, so that's all going to go in and be cooked along with the chicken. Just want the chicken to cook and the onions to soften. It's quite dry, so I'm just adding a little bit more oil into there. Like I say, if you buy a curry paste, then it will be quite oily, so you won't need quite as much oil. While that's going on, I'll just explain what else we're going to do. We're going to chop some coriander. Half of that will be going in now, when these things are cooked through, and half of it will be going on the end as a garnish. Actually, I do have a really good tip for chopping coriander, even though I have not brought a cup with me. I'll see if I can get one from the cupboard. No, but a jug will do the job. So you can put your coriander, or any herb this works really well with, into a cup or a jug, and then you need a pair of scissors and you just snip. So so that fingers are away and you can get it as fine as you want to, because it is quite difficult on a chopping board without getting your fingers. So there we have it, our coriander is ready, our rice is ready. We need some green beans, fine beans. We're just going to top and tail these. Okay, beans ready. And then a handful of tomatoes. Just check on the meat, give it a good stir around. Now approximately 4 large tomatoes would do. Sorry. So we're going to use, I've got some smaller tomatoes, so there's no point buying big ones just because the recipe says so. So we're going to use smaller ones, so I've got about 10 here. And we want them roughly chopped, so maybe into half and half again. And then half again. The only other thing that we need for this recipe is some water, which I'll get now, and 2 boiled eggs, which I've already done. So now that this chicken is all cooked through, what we're going to do is add the green beans and the tomatoes. Apologies, that's my dog getting angry at people walking past. So green beans and tomatoes have gone in, and we're going to add some water now. So we've got about 150 ml of water. That goes in. This is the point where we put the rice in. So like I say, we're going with microwaveable rice. We don't have to microwave it because it's going to be heated up with the curry. And I've also got the cauliflower rice. So at this stage, because I'm making it into 2, just to show you for demonstration, I'm going to split. Obviously you wouldn't do this. Hopefully it's somewhere near fair. So let's put the big pan on the big one and the big pan on the little one. And then the rice is going in the front, tip it all in, and some of the coriander. And then in the back one, I'm just going to give a few more beans in there. We're putting in the cauliflower instead of rice, so exactly the same principle. Just tip it in, give it a stir, and then what we're going to do is that liquid is going to absorb into there and make it all delicious and moist. And to help that happen, we need to cover these with a lid. Now, I do not have a lid for my frying pans, so this is a lid from a big pan, that one just about fits over there, and this is the lid from my wok, which just about fits over there. So we're going to leave those now to simmer for about 10 minutes, keeping an eye on them and giving them a stir, and if they get too dry, just adding a little bit more water back into them. The only other thing left to do is I've peeled the eggs. I'm just going to chop these into quarters, and these get served on top of the biryani. So eggs ready. I'll get rid of the rubbish and I will come back to you when these have cooked down a little bit. So the rice is done. The chicken was already cooked, so the way that you can tell is that the moisture is absorbed and the green beans are soft. When the green beans are still hard, let it cook a little bit longer. That was the rice one. This is the cauliflower one. I would suggest maybe waiting until the green beans have softened a little bit before adding the cauliflower, because that does absorb a lot of the moisture a lot quicker, but it still looks great. So we'll now put that onto some plates. We're going to have it just on a bed of spinach. It's just another way of adding in some extra vegetables, but you can obviously do that whatever you want. So then we're going to add on top. So that's the rice one. If you were just making one batch of this in a big pan, then you'd put the eggs in at the end and you could serve yourself from the big pan, and it would probably look a little bit tidier. But, well, we're going to eat it, so let's not worry too much about that. So eggs on, a little bit of coriander, and then same for me, only I'm using the cauliflower rice version. Boiled eggs, coriander. Obviously leave the coriander out. I know not everyone likes it, so if you're one of those people, then leave it out, but there we have it. Chicken biryani, cooked in, well, definitely under 30 minutes anyway, so please give it a try and enjoy. Now, because he disturbed my video, I thought I'd just let you all have a good look at my terror dog. He's usually lurking around in the kitchen somewhere, waiting for bits of food to drop. Obviously not curry, that's not a good idea for him, but he particularly loves cheese. So keep an eye out for him in future videos too.